Okay, here we go with round one. I'm not going to mulligan. I don't love the hand, but it's not awful. We can go to the town folk and get some real value out of them after we equip the Matic, and even casting the Iron Right will give us a defense for a few turns. Double Feeling of Dread means if I ever get to a preferential board state, I can probably swing through. We'll have to see what he plays next turn as to what my best play is. Getting to use a Geist Flame on a token is not all bad. That's a little bit worse. Is he stuck on 2 land? No. He even got his 3rd color. So get out a Defender. He could go up to a 3/6. We got the Heavy Matic on him. And what's coming next? Tribute to Hunger, of course. This is a sad turn of events. Fortunately, I am still in a good spot. At 19, he's down to 3 cards. I potentially destroy one of his cards with one of my cards. It just depends on what he ends up playing. Okay. Not the strongest card in the world, and he could be kind of feeling me out, but I'm still going to play it. Because I really do need to get someone on the board. He's down to 2 cards now. I need to be aware of the Geist Flame. If he attacks with the Devil, I do not want to block. Okay, so that was kind of the bait there. Seeing if I would go for it. But with the quadruple Feeling of Dread off of the flashback, I'm not too scared of the Marauders. And I may draw into a Bonds of Faith or a... I can't even think of the card I'm wanting to think of. Burden of Guilt. Okay. Go ahead and tap him down. Faithless Looting. That card doesn't get the love that it deserves. We'll see if he has to pitch something good, though. The fact that he's waiting a second here makes me think he might have to make a tough choice. And to swing this game, if I got a Silent Departure, I could recast my Slayer of the Wicked. Priest is not a bad way of dealing with him either. So put out the Priest this turn. And if he has a burn spell, so be it. If not, we just tap him down. one more turn using that guy. Okay, the flashback on Faithful Sleeping. So now he's up to 5 cards. We'll be down to 3. But he's still losing. I can't believe he pitched that. That just scares me for what he must have for cards. And all things considered, I think I want to swing with this. Keep the priest back. If he decides to flashback the Fires of Undeath, to kill the priest, well then so be it. Gotta have something. Maybe he was just planning on flashing it back. We can get in for 7. And then we can make it. Oh, he has the Geist Flame, he could flash back. I don't think we fear an attacking Marauder. Or at least I wouldn't really fear him. I'd rather that he, play out a second creature. That's not so good. But in response, we'll go ahead and tap his guy. And swing for 3. And then I think Bonds of Faith on the Marauders. Marauders are one of the better threats that he could have. We can still Feeling of Dread to tap out something if it comes to that. We, something with flight actually is a threat to our creatures. He still has enough to flash back to kill the spirit with the Geist Flame. Who knows what he's drawing here. But if he draws a creature, then we can tap it. So it really just depends on what he goes for. Oh, interesting. That creature actually buys him a couple turns. My guess is that he'll eat it to the Geist Flame. So attaching the Heavy Matic to him might have been the better play. But, yep, there we go. Still has to come up with a flying threat and or a removal spell. Well, a removal spell, because if he has a flying threat, I have a Feeling of Dread. And I can't think of a two casting cost spell that could get him there. So we did it. Good. And we had a whole bunch of land coming up. So we won at just the right time. Let's see. Probably keep the deck as is. It worked well. Potentially wouldn't stake because he does have the flying vampire, but he didn't have a ton of vampires, or at least he didn't show a ton of vampires. So at this point, I would think keeping those in might be better. We'll have to be wary of playing out too many of my one toughness creatures, since he does have a lot of little burn and an Into the Maw of Hell to deal with big threats as well. All things considered, I think it was probably worth it to use the Slayer of the Wicked on his werewolf as opposed to his vampire, just because it got him out a turn earlier, which meant we were swinging earlier, getting more damage in. And I'll see you whenever he comes back. Okay, for this I do not want to mulligan. That's actually a pretty strong opening hand, and if I can draw a couple tricks, that would help, but all of my creatures are out of reach of his smallest tricks. He's playing double Faithless Looting. He really has absolutely no faith. Now we can even play everything in our hand. I think probably lead with the Loyal Cathar, just because of its resiliency. In case he does decide to go ahead and burn it immediately. And we'll have to remember Silent Departure can send my guys back as well. If he flips his Delver already, I probably would send him back. And if he attacks with his Delver, I'd probably block. Oh, there's my phone. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. You've missed most of the exciting part of the game. Although I, brought you in so you could see me kill this guy. So yeah, the Bonds of Faith on my Loyal Cathar was iffy. Didn't know whether he was going to Fire of Undeath and kind of 2-for-1 me. Nice thing to mitigate that is that the Loyal Cathar at least would come back. Had that happened. And here, okay, so we're gonna tap that guy down. Why not? I still feel like we're kind of in a position of strength against this opponent. Potentially getting in for 5, have 2 tempo spells. He's searching for anything good with that Faithless Looting. He may have drawn an answer. But we can go ahead and attack in here. And if he's letting it go through, that surprises me. Still didn't flip. So we can cast the Midnight Haunting end of turn. Hopefully he won't have enough mana up to do much of anything. He can't Geist Flame right now. Okay, we win. We'll see whether he realizes that. Yes, he does. Okay, deck worked well. Lots of answers. Lots of fun. I will see you in round 2, and this time I'll try not to talk to my wife for half the match. No promises.